Hey guys, Andon here, bringing you part 2 of the Banner Saga. We're going to jump right in. Last we left off, we needed to head down to the docks. Wagner. A familiar Varl steps onto the docks. In your mind you recall a much younger version tramping the halls of Grolfheim, abundant in purpose. Gods, Ubin, you're looking ancient. Comes with being old, and if there is Wagner, there must be a Hakon. Must there? Still bleeding tributes from the poor and stupid, old yaks? At what age do you lose sense of shame? Jorundur demands it. I'll take that over lingering to death in Grolfheim. Speaking of, I had no sense that you were so far from home. Just returned from Arborang, in fact. And glad for it. Hakon motions to the other ships in the bay, sails still fluttering. Golden wolfhead emblazoned on red, the king of men, or someone on his behalf. The king's whelp? The king's son, Ludin. Don't you know, Scrivener? We visit his capital. He visits ours. It's how you make alliances these days. It's a miserable waste of time. Yes, Hakon, has it. I'd almost forgotten. It's a good thing you're around, Hakon. Then you're going to Grolfheim? I have the distinct feeling I've finished my business in Strand and was heading there myself. We should caravan. We should. Give it a day. In better circumstances, I'd drink it a week away, but let's just be done. Find me tomorrow at the gates. What he's trying to say is the price is a delight to behold. The prince is a delight to behold. Where is Mogar? Hakon, have him find a place to put up the warriors. I'm heading up to meet the governor. A host of giants depart in his wake. You recognize a few, others are strangers to you. Guess I'm off to find Mogar. See you in the morning, Scrivener. The young prince of men ambles from his ship. He brushes off his tunic, scanning the beach with low eyelids. Ludin looks for all the world the sort of boy who grew up pulling the legs from spiders. The long road back to Grolfheim should be more interesting than most years, you think. Weariness suddenly settles in, and you chuckle to yourself about what an odd day it has been. One of the governor's men at the Great Hall could find you a place to sleep. On the other hand, if you're going to join Wagner's caravan tomorrow, it might not hurt to share a drink with Hakon, or introduce yourself to the prince they spoke so highly of. Well, I'd rather have a drink than talk to the prince. Scrivener. You find Hakon in a mead house surrounded by other Varl. Strand is no stranger to Varl, but rarely sees this many. Hakon weighs you over. Went straight for a flagon. Wagner's the one who agreed to pass up a drink. I wasn't invited to the governor's hall anyway. You already missed the massacre. Every year I make the rounds collecting taxes. Every year it's the human settlements that give me trouble. No surprise. What this time? When I got here, the Great Hall was already full of bodies. We added a few more. Humans. I guess if I only lived as long as a Yaksfart, I might be desperate to make something of myself too. Yaksfart. It's not too late to start trying, Hakon. Hakon lets slip a low chuckle. Any Varl could recount his deeds, known as he was for cutting a swath through the dredge at Wagner's side in the Second War, and regularly since then. Down here I'm glorified bodyguard. You might have a point. Just another reason to get back to Grolfheim. Oh shoot, I accidentally skipped a line of text. You drink until the mead house becomes overbearing, then step back into the cool air outside. Time to go talk to the prince. Is this the right place? You find the prince at the inn. Guards blanket the building. including a sharp-eyed Varl who must be working for Luden. A woman in red eventually waves you over and stands nearby, arms crossed. Greetings, Prince Luden. Yes, you're with Wagner. I don't remember you. Not exactly. I've known Wagner a long time. I'll be joining you back to Grofheim with my guards. Luden looks up for the first time. The woman doesn't react. Why? I work for the king carrying Tis to the capital. We crossed by chance. Oh, a tax collector. Fine company. What do you want? I just to introduce myself. You collect taxes for the Varl territories. A true pleasure. Yes. And awkwardness hangs in the air like a thick fog. You take the opportunity to depart. At dawn, you're awoken by the delivery of goods. At least you think it's dawn. Damn hard to tell with the sun that never moves. The governor's crest adorns the supply leathers. All there, just as promised, to your mild surprise. You wonder if Eric had anything to do with it. Your guards take the treasure wagon down to the gates. Wagner is already here. A while later, Luden and his men appear, groggy and disheveled. Mulgar steps forward. Wagner's quartermaster, if you recall correctly, in charge of his unwieldy entourage of warriors. You know him only in passing. He asks if you're ready to depart. We are Red-Eye. You follow Mulgar and join the others. Usually the small doors set into the gates would be enough to enter or leave the city, but the town guards have been told to push them open entirely. They mutter things under their breath that are best not heard. Perhaps the governor expected you to draw a crowd, but there's nothing of sort, just frustrated, tired people. It summarizes Strand well as a whole, you think. So from my understanding, I don't know if I said this already, but it has some elements of the old Oregon Trail, which is kind of cool. So it counts your days down. So took a while to get there. Huh? One day and we went at 7 inches on my computer screen. The caravan stops for the day. A gift, says Mulgar, cracking open mead casks. From our gracious friend, the governor of Strand. Hours pass with raucous laughter as the mead is passed throughout the camp. Toast to Wagner. You raise your drink, toasting the lines between men and Varl. The others join in. Luden's expression is like a stone wall, but the others laugh at your exaggerations. Eventually you sit down beside Wagner. Chat, thanks for the speech, slurs Wagner. Looks like you didn't have to miss out after all. Thanks to Mulgar. I thought the damned governor would never shut up. Did he give you a history of his entire family? He tried. Then he asked me to clean up his mess. For your benefit, turns out. I'd have given the job to you too. Gods, there's no joy in politics. Speaking of, what happens after this business with Luden? Hopefully the boy goes back to Arborang on his own, and I can take out some frustration on the dredge or something. Starting to sound like Hakan. You don't like the life of a diplomat. Shoot, I did it again. You down your mead instead of replying. Wagner slouches and shakes his head. There's no great joy in killing dredge. But this, pretty sure this nonsense is some scheme between the two kings to force some kind of lineage. Used to be, warriors would follow you for what you'd done. Is that why they follow you now? Is it? Or is it because I'm the next line? These lines are getting muddy, old Varl. They've always been muddy, Wagner. Wagner stares into the campfire, lost in thought. You leave him to it. You rise groggily, the campsite a casualty of merriment. Mulgar is already kicking warriors awake when you spot Luden stalking your direction. He sidesteps sleeping bodies. Better wake up. You nudge Wagner. You're needed. Ah, it's Luden. Always a pleasure. You look well rested. Wagner releases a caged yawn and receives a hard-eyed stare in return. How long to Grofheim? Here only 2 days out of Strand, you know. Come, I'll show you on a map. World map. Click and drag the map around to look around. A portrait icon shows where your caravan is in the world. You can also click on locations to get some history about it. When you're done with the map, click the X. So it's a pretty extensive map. Small town. I'm not going to read all this, but here we are. Here's Strand, where we left. Vedrfell is the next town that we're going to run into. We head north, then east past the forts. Grofheim's far from Strand. Going to be a long march. You should have drank it last night, Luden. Why not take the ships to Skymerstead? What's the point of marching? Skymerstead. The Silverstone Bay is called that for a reason. It stays covered in ice all year. It would tear up the longships. Too bad, though. We could have shown you all the wonders of Skymerstead. Skymerstead. That's gonna kick my tongue's ass all day. A half-sunken city crawling with dredge prints. Dredge and glaciers. You like glaciers? Luden exhales through the nose, a poor disguise for his contempt. He turns and bats aside the tent flaps as he goes, barking at his company in the distance. Don't poke the anthill, Wagner. He seems no happier to be here than you. Spend a few more days with the boy, old friend. You'll be looking for a tall cliff to hop off to. Luden's got a shorter wick than Hakon. Thanks, Wagner. Let's get moving. Another half day to Vedrfell if we're lucky. Camp is where you manage your caravan. During travel, you can enter the camp at any time by clicking the camp button on the travel hut. While at camp or in towns, you can upgrade your allies or equip items in your hero's tent. You can pass time by using the rest. Resting will improve the caravan's morale. A high morale will reduce casualties in war and affect your willpower in combat. Each passing day will use supplies, so only rest when necessary. The training tent will allow you to safely try out any character in a mock battle. Click leave at the bottom of the campsite when you're ready to go back to the road. Heroes tent, this is where you upgrade your heroes. Gunnolf can be promoted. Tempest Warhawk uses his massive weight to sweep his weapon around. I'm not going to read all this, but points available, and you just click the promote and it tells you the greatest warrior on the battlefield are those who live past the first battles. Build higher stats and increase item rank. It's going to cost 5 renown. And he has 2 points available. I don't know how to spend the points. Oh. Gunnolf. When Ubin became the Varl King's tax collector, he was given an entourage of bodyguards to help transport gold collected across Huron. Gunnolf is the only one from the original group still alive, and for good reason. He's got 6 kills. He's a beast. Luden, rank 1 Spearmaster. Luden is the Prince of Men, the next in line to become king of the most of the continent. He is not well liked amongst either peers or rivals, mostly due to his high-born attitude. However, not many will claim that he isn't smart, a well-trained fighter, or lacking courage. He currently finds himself somewhere against his will on a visit to the Varl capital in what his father hopes becomes a new era of rule by lineage. And you can just click these buttons too at the side to cycle through. Hakan is something of a legend in Varl culture. When he met Wagner, it was during the Second Great War, in which the two became known for cutting a swath through the dredge where others were struggling just to stay alive. Wagner was always a charismatic leader, but there was no question about which of the two would win in a fight. And then Malgur. Malgur is an old hand in the Varl culture, long on the front line of the fight against the dredge. He's had the occasional brush with leading a clan of his own, but eventually settled well into commanding Wagner's personal army of Varl warriors, and is highly respected amongst them. And he can be promoted again? What? Increase item rank, it's going to cost. Improve your ability, build higher stats. Heck yeah, we confirm. So now it shows 4 stats available, but I'm not exactly sure. Oh. Okay. So I don't... Okay. Exertion, the amount of willpower you can use on any given action. Stats. Max stats is the current amount of points added to this character. The next maximum. Strength, willpower. Kills, so he needs 3 more kills before he can rank up again. Oh. Oh. I don't... So that's his max. Okay, well, we're gonna go... Ooh. Yes. Confirm. Okay, he's a level 3 Warhawk. Let's get out of here. So here is your training tent. You can train your guys, I guess. Rest, and then leave the camp. We have 66 days of supplies. Pick your map right there. 85 fighters, 366 Varl. Well guys, before we leave, I'm going to call it right here. Video might be 15 to 20-ish minutes, but this is a good place to stop. And then we'll continue on from here. Until then, thanks for joining me. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.